okusini ey'omukaaga nga lisangibwa mu kifo ekiweweevu obulungi. Tulina ebisuula eby'omulembe, science laboratory ssaako ne computer lab wamu ne.
She gives you her number, but your pen didn't work and the bus is gone. Get a pen you can rely on. Bic Crystal, the long-lasting pen with perfect ink flow.
Wamu ne.
Green Hill Academy has high standards of learning and the teachers are very good. They give you a sense of belonging.
Green Hill has helped me to discover my talent.
The environment is good.
Encouraged us children to be excellent.
Wamu ne.
Kids Kingdom Kindergarten and Daycare. Somero ly'abaana bato. Omuzadde leeta omwana ogenda okola ebibyo. Ebyokuzanyisa by'abaana byonna mu nsi tubirina. Ate ng'abaana we bazannyira wagazi nnyo. Jjukira security enka. Amasomero gonna gali mu kikomera. Abasomesa be tulina bakugu mu baana. Abaana tubaliisa bulungi nnyo munnange. Tulina main campus e Buddo Naggalabi nga bwakayisa Buddo Junior.
Yes, Buterevu oli ku Terefayina BBS TV. You're welcome for today's lesson, and I want to say a good afternoon to all of you. The teacher is Mr. Kakuru. The paper is paper 2, mathematics. I am going to review a number that I left with you upon a request for some of the students that we work through it, and after going through it, we shall be able to verify whether we should proceed to the next part. So I am trying to sketch the question so that we can get started. That gives us a rough sketch of what the graph was like. The question was asking us to find the value of the constant and then find the PDF. Find the PDF. This lower point corresponds to a point K along the FT axis. This is the FT. The function was defined in terms of t. This other point corresponds to the 2k, the 6, and then this point corresponds to the 5k. Now, if you look at this number, it implies that this function we are trying to look for has 3 different functions. Now, to find k, which I think most of you should be in the know, we said we use the formula for the area of the different parts. So we shall consider this part from -2 to 1 as a trapezium, and 1 to 2 as a rectangle, and 2 to 6 as a trapezium. We said the area, the total area under the curve, is equivalent to 1. And therefore, our half, we are using the area of the trapezium. Here it means that we are going to have a total height of 1 minus minus 2, which is 3, into what would be the A is the K, and the B for this trapezium is the 5K. Plus the width here, which is 2 minus 1, times the height, which is 5k, plus, again, the trapezium, a half times the height, which is 4 or 6 minus 2, into the 2k plus the 5k. That should be equated to 1. Quickly, this is 6, so it is a half times 3 times 6k plus 1 times 5k plus a half times 4 times 7k is equal to 1. This implies that I have 9k here. This goes here 3 times, plus 5k, plus this goes here twice, and this is 14k. And this is equal to 1. This is 2 half times 3 times 4 times 7. 14 plus 5 plus 9. What do we get? I think I've changed it. Okay. I think I've changed it from what it was. Sorry for that mix-up. This should have been up there. The 1k is corresponding to this. The 1k corresponds to this side. Yes. Sorry for the interruption. This corresponds to the 2k here. So that I don't get what is differing from what you have. This was the 2k, and this k was corresponding there. So it implies that our trapezium here should have 2k here. However, this one remains, and this one should be, again, a half times 4 into k plus 5k. So what we get here is going to be 7. This becomes 7k. This stays 5k. This becomes 4. And this stays as 6. So before we simplify, we can say this one will give us half times 3 into 2 plus 5, 7k. So this is 21k out of 2 plus 5k plus this is 2, 12k is equal to 1. This can be written as 21k plus 10k plus 24k is equal to 1. When we add all this, we shall get 55. 55. This is times 2. 55k is equal to 2. And therefore, k would be equivalent to 2 out of 55. K would be equivalent to 2 out of 55. Now, after getting k, that is what they wanted. They said we should find the PDF. Now, to find the PDF, for case 1, which I had called 1 here, our coordinates -2 and 2k. -2 and 2k. We also have 1 and 5k. Remember, we know the value of k. And we have to consider yet another point. We have to consider another point which you can call x. It is t, f of t. So to find the gradient or the equation of a line, we can use n of these. 5k minus 2k over 1 minus 2 should be equal to ft minus, we can use this one, minus 5k over t minus 1. We want to find f of t. This will give us 3. So 3f of t minus 15k will be equivalent to 5tk minus 2k. I want this as a subject, so I will simplify here. This 2k is a positive, minus times a minus. So I will simplify, and I will get my my ft, 3ft, will be equivalent to 15k. That will give us 17k plus 5kt. Now, if we make this the subject, our ft will be equal to 17 over 3 times 2 out of 55 plus 15 plus 5k times 2 out of 55 t. So our ft will become 2 out of 55 into 17 out of 3 plus 5t. This becomes the first expression for 1, the range of t between 1 to 2. Our f of t will be equivalent to 5k, and this is 5 times 2 out of 55. This will give us by 5, 1, by 5, 11, 2 out of 11. And finally, the coordinates here will be 2, 5k, and then 6 and k. So we can also look for t in the range of 2 to 6. We have our 2, 5k, we have our 6k. We also consider f t and f of t. If we use the same formula, 5k minus k over 2 minus 6 should be equal to ft minus 5k over t minus 2. In the interest of time, I will give you what that should be able to give. This, if we summarize, will give our ft as 2 out of 55 into 7 minus t. allow me to slightly adjust here. This is 3k. 3kt minus 3k plus. If this is 3 times t, 3kt minus 3k, that gives us if you solve this fully, you'll get ft simplifying to 2 out of 55 into t plus 4. Now, we have this, and we have this. Therefore, the function you are expected to write, the function f of x, you are expected to get was supposed to be, for the first case, 2 out of 55 into t plus 4, and the range is negative 2 less than t less than 1. 2 out of 11, 1 less than t less than 2, and then lastly 2 out of 55 into 7 minus t, and the range is 2 less than t less than 6 with 0 elsewhere. So for those who tried, this is the expression you were expected to find. That is the expression you expected to find for that number. I can give a minute or so for those who want to copy that number there. The constant was the first part, and getting the function was the next part. The last part was asking you to find the probability that t is greater or equal to 0. T greater or equal to 0. There are several methods. I will use the method that tells us that if p, probability of t greater or equal to 0 is what is required, it implies that it is the same as 1 minus the probability that t is less than 0. There are other methods, as I've said, that we could use. Now, it implies that it is going to be equal to 1. P t less than 0 looks at this range. So we shall only consider this function. We take away the integral from negative 2 to 0 of that function of 2 out of 55 into t plus 4 dt. We use that expression. Since we already, I am assuming that all of you know how to find k, so I can remove that one. If we integrate this, we shall get 1 minus 2 out of 55, which is a constant, into, that will give us t squared out of 2 plus 4t. And we are integrating from negative 2 to 0. So if we substitute in our probability which we are looking for, t greater or equal to 0, will be 1 minus 2 out of 55. If I fit in 0, I will get 0. Take away, if I fit in negative 2, I'll get, this is a major bracket. I'll get a bracket here, minus 2 squared over 2 plus 4 times minus 2. Yes, you can clear this space over here, and we get our probability that t is greater or equal to 0 as 1 minus. This is going to give us 4 over 4, which is 1 positive. So it is 0 minus 1 minus 8. Therefore, this gives us 2 out of 55, 1 minus 2 out of 55 into, this is 4 out of 4, which is 1. We are saying it is 0 minus 1 minus 8. So if we compute the final answer, I expect you to have got should be 1 minus, this will be 9 minus 18 out of 55, and that will give us 55 minus 18 out of 55, and that will give us 30. It should be able to give you, if you subtract very well, it should be able to give you 43. If you compute very well, it should be able to give you 43 out of 55. 43 out of 55. This should have been a 2. This is negative 2, which is negative 10. Times 55. The final answer we get should be this. I want to clarify how we get that answer there before we proceed. We are integrating from negative 2 to 0, and this is the expression. So it means that we are saying it is 1 minus 2 out of 55 into our t squared out of 2 plus 4t. And we are integrating from negative 2 to 0. So it is 1 minus 2 out of 55 into 0 minus everything into negative 2 squared out of 2 plus 4 times negative 2. 1 minus 2 out of 55 into 0 minus, this will be 4, which will be 2, minus 8. 1 minus 2 out of 55 into 0 plus 6. So it's 1 minus 12 out of 55 which is 55 minus 12 out of 55. And this will give us 43 out of 55. There was a problem with the computation somewhere there, so we can take that as the right substitution. The other alternative that you could have considered would be using the area under the whole curve and equate it to 1, which would give us that. Capture that last part. It has 3 different interpretations, but we are considering that. The other interpretation would be this. Greater than 0 means we integrate from 0 to 1 of the function between 0 and 1. That will be 2 out of 55 into our t plus 4, which is the function dt, plus we integrate from 1 to 2 of the function between 1 and 2, and that is 2 out of 11 dt, plus, because it is greater than 0, plus the integral also between 2 and 6 of the last function, which is 2 out of 55 into 7 minus t. This would be another alternative that you can consider. It should be able to give you the same answer. As I've said, since we have gone back there, the third alternative, pt greater or equal to 0, should have been 1 minus pt less than 0. This would require you to get the probability of that part that was below, here. And this intercept would be 8 out of 55. So this would require you to use 1 minus that intercept. This is a trapezium, and is a half times this difference, which is 1, times this, which was 2k, plus this, which is 8, but it is all out of 55. So when you compute this, it should also be able to give you the same answer as required. So these 3 methods would all help a student arrive at the same answer. Allow us move to the next part. You can capture these other methods, try them out later. Today I purposed to look at the mode. And we already looked at the mode when we have a PD graph. We already looked at the mode, and we saw it is the value of x. The value of x that gives the greatest value of f of x. By definition, the value of x that returns the highest value of f of x by definition. From the sketch, we have already seen, I will quote this, from various sketches, the mode could be shown. As follows. If I consider the first sketch, if I have a y against x graph where y is the function and x is the variable, of this nature, the value of x here that returns the greatest value of y or of f of x is the mod. If we consider another graph, another case here of this nature, the value of x here would be the mod, provided for this case that x is a line of symmetry. If I consider another graph of this nature, the value of x, which would be 0, would be the mod, because the highest value would be at this point. And finally, another graph that would produce a mod on the graph, if you look at the graph, would be a graph of the nature of this. Assuming it starts there, the highest value of x again here would be our mod. The value that produces the highest value of y would be our mod. That bit of using the graph, my dear learners, we looked at it. My interest here is, how do we get the mod using a function? To find the mod using the function, the mod would be considered as the value of x obtained when the first derivative of the function is equated to 0. When we differentiate the function and equate it to 0, the value of x that we get upon solving the derivative would give us the mod. However, there are conditions. There are conditions that I must bring out very well. The conditions attached to this are, number one, if the first derivative is equated to 0 and returns or gives one value, if it returns one value of x, if it returns one value of x more than the range, or greater than, let us use the word greater than the interval, then we differentiate the second time. We will differentiate the second time, but we ignore, in this case, we ignore the value out of the range. And the second condition is that if the two values obtained are within the range, within the interval, we do the second differentiation and rule out the unwanted value. And rule out the unwanted value. I will request that you take a few minutes to capture those important points. And here, the value of the second derivative of x that gives us a value less than 0 will be the mod. Of the two values that we get outside the range, the value that we substitute in the second derivative and gives us a value less than 0 will be considered as the mod. Since this is a review using the graph, and our main interest is this one, because we already looked at this, I will put our first example here. Meanwhile, hoping that you'll be winding up with a copying of that part. If we are given a function that k is 2 plus x, 0 elsewhere, and the range here is 0 to 4, and they are saying find the mod. Find the mod. Just as simple as that. They want us to find the value of k, find the mod, and value of k. Find the mod and the value of k. Now, we are not going to do this number to find the value of k. I'll simply state that the value of k for this number, when you try it out later, should give you 3 out of 80. And I will just emphasize that you should note that we integrate f of x dx and equate it to 1 between the range to look for k. So to find the mod, we have said we differentiate. We differentiate. So we consider f of x here is k, which I have told you we now know, 3 out of 80, into, when we expand this, we are going to get 8. 8, 2x, 4x, plus 2x minus x squared. And when we differentiate, to get the first derivative, we all know what differentiation is. This is a constant. So we shall get 2 minus 2x. If we equate f of x to 0, it will imply that 2 minus 2x is equal to 0, implies that our x will be equal to 1. We come back to the range. If the value of x we have got is within the range and is the only value, then we conclude that the mod is equal to 1. The mod will be equal to 1. The mod will be equal to 1. I can put here another short number. It does not matter how much we go through, but what matters most is how much we understand. A random variable, x, has a PDF. The function f of x This case is 1 out of 108 x into 6 minus x, and this is squared. 0 to x to 6 and 0 elsewhere. And they want us to find the mod. Calculate the mod. We have said get the function, differentiate it, equate it to 0, solve for x. If the value of x you obtain falls within the given range, then that is the mod. If the value, let us see how this will behave. Our f of x is x out of 108. When I square this, I'll get 36 minus 12x plus x squared. I assume that all of you have capacity to open the brackets. If I open the brackets, I'll have 36x out of 108. I'm not going to simplify it. Minus 12x squared plus x cubed. If I differentiate this, I'll get 36 out of 108 because the x will go, it has power 1, minus 24x plus 3x squared. I will now simplify this or equate it to 0. If f of x is equal to 0, it implies that I can have my 108, 1 over 108 into 36. But 3 is a common factor of this. So I can pull the 3 out here and stay with 12 minus 8x plus x squared. Remember, I'm equating that to 0. And now, if I equate it to 0, it means I can solve the bracketed part. This implies that 12 minus 8x plus x squared is actually equal to 0. This is the same as x squared minus 8x plus 12 is equal to 0. The factors are 6 and 2, and they are all negatives. So I can conclusively say the values of x are 2 and 6. They are 2 and 6. If I come back to the range, 2 and 6. I have two values that fall within the range, so I cannot conclude that I have got my mod. What happens? I differentiate the second time. Find f from this expression here. I differentiate again, and this will give me minus 24 plus 6x. If I equate to 0, 6x minus 24 implies that my x will be 4. Oh, I simplified it to this level, but it is still the same. If I differentiate again, I'm getting my x as 4. So if I put my x as 4, I get my x as 4 after differentiating. After differentiating here, you put in these values of x. Put x as 2 here. This will be minus 24 plus 6 times 2, which will give us negative 12. If I put in x as 6, I'll get minus 24 plus 36, which will give me a positive. Remember, I've said that the mod, in this case, I can conclude that the mod will be actually 2, but I will give a condition that our second derivative of x, we have said, must be less than 0. And this fitting in the negative, that positive 2, gives us a value less than 0, and therefore, conclusively, it implies that between the 2 and 6, which are all within the range, the mode will be the 2. The mode will be the 2. If we have that number with x in the range of 0 to 1, they can ask you to find 1. The mode, 2, the value of k, 3, the mean. This can be an exercise that you can try out in your free time. Our time is fast spent, but I am sure that if you find a question on the mode, whether they are conditioning you to use the calculus method of differentiation, or they are asking you to sketch a graph and hence deduce the mode, you should be able to go through it correctly. As we finish this lesson, I want to briefly talk about the median, and that is where we shall pick it up from. The median is that value that divides the area under the curve into 2 halves. And therefore, if we let m be the median for any given function, then we will obtain that value of the median using an integral. Then the integral from negative infinity to the median itself of f of x dx will be equated to 1/2. Or alternatively, the medium, the integral from the medium to infinity of f of x dx should be equal to 1/2. Should be equal to 1/2. Take note, and when we refer to infinity here, we are referring to the smallest value of the given interval. The smallest value of the given interval. Note that negative infinity refers to the lower limit. The lower limit of the interval. And similarly, positive infinity refers to the upper limit or the highest. Of the interval. My dear students, as you finalize with capturing this, I want to leave you with this question that you use to practice about getting the mode. The mean and the value of k are just additionals. We already know how to get that. And even the mode, you know how to get that. But when I come next time, I'll check whether you've got the right answers and go ahead to proceed with the median. I've said you integrate from infinity to the median which you want and equate to a half, or from the median to infinity and equate to a half. I want to thank you so much for attending this lesson and wish you continuous revision. Ask you to stay at home until when the president declares schools open. I wish you a good day. God bless you. Gachali Mabaga.
somera mu ddiiro lyo ng'ewagiddwa Maryland High School erisangibwa Entebbe. Ssomero ly'abawala n'abalenzi tusomesa arts ne sciences okuviira ddala ku siniya esooka okutuukira ddala ku siniya ey'omukaaga nga lisangibwa mu kifo ekiweweevu obulungi. Tulina ebisulo eby'omulembe, science laboratory ssaako ne computer lab wamu ne.
She gives you her number, but your pen didn't work and the bus is gone. Get a pen you can rely on. Big Crystal, the long-lasting pen with perfect ink flow.
Wamune.
Green Hill Academy has high standards of learning and the teachers are very good. They give you a sense of belonging.
Green Hill has helped me to discover my talent.
The environment is good.
Encouraged us children to be excellent.
Wamune.
Kids Kingdom Kindergarten and Daycare. Somero ly'abaana bato. Omuzadde leeta omwana ogenda okola ebibyo. Ebyokuzannyisa by'abaana byonna mu nsi tubirina. Ate ng'abaana we bazannyira wagazi nnyo. Jjukira security enka. Amasomero gonna gali mu kikomera. Abasomesa be tulina bakugu mu baana. Abaana tubaliisa bulungi nnyo munnange. Tulina main campus e Buddo Naggalabi nga bwakayisa Buddo Junior.
Tujjukira ebiseera byogendanga mu saloon ew'omuyooyoosi wo n'akuyooyoota n'ovaawo ng'omatidde ng'olabika bulungi ng'era oli mugumu nti buli w'ogenda okuyita kebeera embaga oba kasiki ka mukwano gwo mu buli ngeri abantu bajja kukyuka emitwe nga bakulabyeko. Essanyu lyaffe liva mu kuyambako okutuukiriza ebiruubirirwa byo eri endabikayo. Naye mu kaseera kano nga tulwanyisa COVID-19 obulamu bwo n'okwekuumaako bya mugaso nnyo gye tuli. Y'ensonga lwaki tukkubiriza okwekuuma ng'okozesa Movit Hand Wash, Movit Herbal Soap ne Movit Body Milk Soap okumala waakiri ekitone nnyo obutikitiki nga 20. Era tuli bagumu tisinga onoobikozesa kijja kuyamba okwewala obulwadde bwa COVID-19. Tusigale nga tuli batebenkevu era tunyumirwa akaseera ke tumala ne famire zaffe. Tuli bagumu nti ng'eggwanga tugenda kuvvuunuka coronavirus.
Move it. All day confidence.
AfriCell, connecting communities. AfriCell is regulated by Uganda Communications Commission.
Maryland High School erisangibwa Entebbe. Ssomero ly'abawala n'abalenzi tusomesa arts ne sciences okuviira ddala ku siniya esooka okutuukira ddala ku siniya ey'omukaaga nga lisangibwa mu kifo ekiweweevu obulungi. Tulina ebisulo eby'omulembe, science laboratory ssaako ne computer lab. Abasomesa baffe abatendeke mu kusomesa n'okubangula abayizi kuno nga twongerako n'okukulembeza ebitone. Kati nno ggwe omuzadde omwana wo mulete mu kifo kimu kyokka ekigenda okumuyamba okwongera okunnyikiza ebyo by'asoma era ng'essomero liri limu lyokka ye Maryland High School erisangibwa Entebbe. N'okumanya ebisingawo tukubire ku nnamba z'essimu ez'owammanga.
Okwewala oba okwekuuma akawuka ka COVID-19 akalumya ensi yonna. Bino wammanga byolina okukola okuziyiza okusaasaana kw'akawuka kano aka COVID-19. Naaba engalo ng'okozesa amazzi ne sabbuuni buli kadde. Weewala okubeera mu bantu abangi buli w'obeera. Weewala okukwata mu maaso, ku nnyindo, ku mumwa n'engalo nga si nnyonjo. Kolola oba nyiza mu nsonda y'akakokolako oba okozesa akatambaala bw'omaliriza okasuule mu dustibin yo. bw'ofuna obubonero obulaga covid-19 sigala ewaka okubire aba ministry of health ku 0800 oba ku 0800 okufuna obuyambi. Wabula bw'oba oyagala kuzza bujja intaneti yo eya Rock Telecom, kozesa emikutu gyaffe egya digito nga Mastercard, Visa ne ba agent. Osobola okunyiga *252#, sigala ewaka, sigala nga weekuumye, sigala ku Rock Internet.
Rock Telecom.
You're waiting for the bus. A girl walks up. She's beautiful. Your eyes meet. But she has to leave. And your phone is dead. She gives you her number. But your pen didn't work. And the bus is gone. Get a pen you can rely on. Bic Crystal, the long-lasting pen with perfect ink flow.
BBS, terefayina eyaffe.
Yes, abalungi abatulaba mwe bali kutuyingako mugamba mutya era mbabuzaako nnyo mwe bali kwenga ku program roundabout. Babita Jonathan Jackson kansubire nti kiri okay. Yonna gye musinziro tulaba. Mukulike nnyo mu weekend era tubakulisayo nnyo nnyini ddala mu Idi mwe bali abasiraamu kusiiba. Thank you so much kusiiba. Abatasiiba waliwo ze bayita sitat. Ennaku bazita sitat. Ivan tabimanyi. Sitat. Tukyalinze sitat nazo muzisiibe but for Idi mukulike mwe bali kusiiba mwenna abasiraamu abayimbi big up on yourself abasiibye. Yeah, the celebrations abadde z'amaanyi nnyo all over. So many things happened over the weekend. Tugenda kubalagako mpola mpola. Nina amawulire mangi nnyo on that matter. Nina amawulire ku Bobby Wine, nina amawulire ku Fred Sebali, nina amawulire ku so much babawunsa maaso eyo. Kale nno katulabe gye kinaggwera. Naye katutandike n'emboozi ya Fred Sebali. Yeah, omukulu ono yasiramuka. Tuba tubulayo yali yakasiramuka mwezi oba weeks ng'emu bbiri ekisiibo kitandi. I mean karantini etandike. Yali yakasiramuka karantini neyingira oba okitegeera. Nabanga ekisooka teyafuna mukisa kugenda ku mizikiti kuyiga basaala batya. Kwegamba simanyi bwakikwasaganyiza mu kisiibo kino nga tasobola kusembera abasheeyi abandiyongedde omunakyalinga mu busiraamu buno bwe yayingidde. Fred Sebali ennaku zino tumumanyi nga Ibra, Swaba Ibra. Kati nno Khalifa Aganaga wamu ne Sheikh Umaru basazeewo Idi ne bagimala n'omukulu ono Fred Sebali. Babadde mu maka ge. They had a fun. So kamera baffe twazibataddeko. It is like a movie. Tugenda kibateera mulabe. Basimbudde wano ku Bad Character studio ya Khalifa. In fact twalabye Sheikh Umaru ng'akolayo n'oluyimba bamuyingiza muraga olwavuddeyo ne bagende wa omukulu Sebale. So they had an interaction. Just ajja kwogerera mwetaaga mwerolere. I think you will have